Welcome to Camp Cookout Adventures. Join me for a night's camp underneath the stars and the trees while we set up a hammock and also get a nice campfire going and cook up some seriously delicious camping food. It's going to be a tremendous night. I can't wait to immerse myself in this gorgeous nature once again. We're in for a great time. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, so nice to see you all again. We are in the middle of absolutely nowhere and it is stunningly gorgeous. We've had a beautiful day. The sun is going to set in a few hours time and I've scouted out a really secluded little spot where we can set up our hammock for the night. It's going to be so nice. We've got all of this dead dry timber around as well, and we can safely have a little tiny campfire which we're going to be cooking alongside. So this is our spot for the night. We just need to get it set up and cleared. Oh, it's going to make such a nice time. Come on, let's get set up. We've got these two great trees here which are going to make the perfect spacing to set up our DD hammocks. I'm going to do a little bit of clearing of all these dead branches. One of the things I packed tonight is the SOG camping hatchet, and what an absolute beauty it is. It's super lightweight and this axe edge is razor sharp, so we're going to use this to clear away just a few of the dead limbs, just like that. So we've cleared all the dead wood from the tree bark on the lower branches. So now we're pretty much ready to set up our hammock. Now I did a video a few weeks back with my debut outing with the DD Hammock and I had a lovely time. So I couldn't wait to bust it out again. And this time I'm going to try and trust the weather forecast by not setting up any tarp over the top. We're not due any rain, Met Office has promised. So I'm going to put my faith in them this time and just have a lovely night underneath the stars and the canopy of these trees. That is your entire camping setup. This hammock was only £27 delivered as well, so it's a really cheap option if you're interested in hammock camping but don't want to spend a fortune. Just going to take it out the bag here and I'm going to show you how to loop around a tree and also tie the knots you need. You'll already know the knots, believe it or not. Believe it or not, for goodness sake, that wasn't even intentional. Got the hammock in the middle and the two ends with the cords which wrap around the trees of the poles that your hammock is going to be suspended from. So we're literally just going to loosely lay it out between the two positions that we've chosen. It might take a minute or two for you to get the tension right on your hammock and set it at the right height. So just roughly position where you think is going to be right at a decent height. We wrap around our cord and back on ourselves. We're going to cross over our arms, wrap it around again, and we're going to do it again. So cross over, swap the cord in each hand, bring it round again, and do that for as many loops as you can before you leave yourself enough slack so you can tie a knot. And the knot, which you already know, is a shoelace knot. So imagine that was your bootlaces. You're going to go over, up through the middle, and just pinch that down. Pull that tight. Now your two shoelace loops. So make a loop, wrap around, and where my thumb is there, we're going to pull through another loop and pull both of them tight, like it were a big boot. There we go. Now that's double brilliant because everybody knows a shoelace knot, or if you don't, you do now. And also it's very easy undo. Pull that and then boom, you fall on the ground. Don't do that. If you're someone who suffers from intrusive thoughts every now and again, I did think last time I set this up, oh, what if someone comes out of nowhere, sneaks up and undoes one of my bootlaces, and then my bonds fall splat on the floor. It didn't happen. But since that Dartmoor camp, maybe that fox will get me again. You never know. We're going to do the same thing over the other side. You can see roughly where our hammock height is going to be. Now, bearing in mind, this DD Hammock itself has got a 120 kilo weight rating, which will cater for most, but not for all. And think as well, when you're going to sit in it, it's going to bow down. So it's going to take a minute to get your tension right. You're going to have to tie it up where you think you're going to need it. Go and test it, make sure it's strong enough. I think somewhere around there. So we're going to do the same thing again. We've wrapped around, crossed over. We're going to exchange the cords over the other side in each hand. Keep wrapping it round as many times as you can, so you have enough slack left over to tie your shoelace knot. There we go. Let's go give that a go, shall we? Hopefully you all can see that is proper strong. So now is the moment of truth. Got to park your butt in the middle, pray to whichever god you pray to, and hope it works. Ooh. Oh yeah. Ta-da! And once again we've completed our hammock. Oh, it's so nice. Little rocking motion. Wiggle your butt. Perfect. If you get that down, that's like a literal 5-minute setup for your camp. While we still got some daylight, I'm going to see if I can scour some rocks from somewhere to have a nice fireproof base for our campfire. It's only going to be a little small one tonight, nice and controlled. Oh, check this out. Perfect. Oh. A nice wide, flat slate piece of shillity stuff, which is going to make a perfect base for that. We'll find a good location for that in a little bit. We are camping on the side of a slope tonight, so it's difficult to find somewhere nice and level. There is a nice little patch here which seems to be just about flat. I wouldn't want to put a spirit bubble on it though, but it's the flattest thing around here, that's for sure. We've got this lovely base on which to put our hot stuff. It's nice and level. Just going to create a little border with some stones that I've found. See if we can get a little cozy companion campfire going later. That would be absolutely lovely to spend some time. We've got to get cooking as well. So we've got to process up some firewood out of all the dry twigs we've got about. We've got to set up our cooking stuff, and you've got to see the menu for tonight. It is going to be... Now, regarding setting this up anymore, all I'm going to be sleeping in is a sleeping bag. I have got, because I did get a little bit chilly last time, is a Snug Pack insulated jungle blanket. It's waterproof on one side and soft on the other, and it has incredible thermal value, even though it packs down really small. I'm simply going to throw my sleeping bag in the hammock itself. The hammock has a zipper, so it opens up. You tuck yourself on the inside with your sleeping bag and your blanket and your pillow and all the rest of it, and then you can zip yourself up in there like a great big cocoon. It's very cozy, it's very nice. It's going to be great. I reckon we should go up the hill and see if we've got a sunset tonight. Let's check it out. Oh, my goodness me, it got late while you guys were watching that sunset. I'm starving. I've been around all of the local trees scouring for dead branches that have been on the ground for ages and therefore really dry. So I've gathered up a bunch which I'll process later for our campfire. I got to get some coffee in me at least, because it's starting to get chilly now that night has fallen. This is my current favourite cook set. I've taken it out on the last 3 or 4 outings and it's been absolutely brilliant. It's the Trangia 27 cook set. It's a little alcohol stove, and it's all aluminium and a brilliant little kit that comes super compact. And that is what we're going to be cooking our dinner on tonight. We're going to save the campfire for a little bit of company later on. So I've assembled rather a nice little space for our cooking and campfire area. Just got to get it all set up and get some coffee on the go. Tiny little alcohol pot reservoir which you set fire to, and it burns incredibly efficiently. I was really surprised by it. That other adapter is for if you want to simmer and control your heat. And pop our stove in there. I've invested in a small fuel bottle. I was carrying around the litre pack before, which is just too much for a camp out. This is the smallest one that Trangia do. It's 330ml. Just pour that straight in there. Screw up the top. As safe as houses. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The thing with these Trangia alcohol stoves that you have to watch out for, when you try and light it, the flame is almost invisible. You have to be really careful when you light it and ensure that you know the thing is lit. Now my favourite method for lighting it is with a ferro rod, slinging some sparks on it. That works really well, because it saves you messing about trying to get a lighter or a match in around your stove. Plus, it looks absolutely cool. So with a ferro rod, when you're throwing sparks, a lot of people tend to put their sharp blade against it and then fling the blade outwards. It's much better if you push your ferro rod against your sharp edge and then pull the rod back. It's way more control and you can get the sparks where you need them to be. Just like that. God, that's so cool. I almost wish that it didn't work first time so I could have another crack. It's awesome. My little firebox here that I keep for campouts has got a couple of cut your own plasters in it in case you have an injury or a mischief. I keep a standard Bic lighter in there, or a clipper lighter, because it's just absolutely reliable. I keep a couple of cotton wool pads which are really easy to set fire to, one of which has been wrapped up in Vaseline. That burns really well. And I still have one of my friend Tim's cotton wool pad which has been drenched in beeswax. If you fluff that thing up, that'll take a spark from the ferro rod just as well as the alcohol stove on the Trangia. It was really impressive. We might have a play with that later on. The 27 cook set comes with 2 saucepans and a frying pan. It's brilliant for the size it is. And if you check out my previous camping video when we go camping in an abandoned quarry, it can yield some pretty impressive cookouts, let me tell you. It's just going to pop on top there like that, and grab our kettle, pop it straight over the flame, and look forward to a nice hot beverage to keep us toasty warm. While that's happening, I'm going to tell you about my meal tonight. So on the menu tonight we have, up here away from any foxes, a delicious ribeye steak which we're going to cook up rare alongside some butter fried asparagus, and I'm going to cut some chips, so we're going to fry up some chips with it, and a couple of fried eggs on the side. Oh, it's going to be a protein feast. I can't wait. We're going to start off with peeling my potato, slicing it into chips. Who doesn't love chips, especially on a camp out? One peeled spud. Gonna half it first, just to make it safe to work on. We are working in our lap here with sharp utensils, don't want any slips. Okay, so half it, and then you want to keep these chips uniform in size. So take extra care to make sure you slice them up all the same. Sounds like our kettle's getting there. Kettles are boiling, my fine friends. And time for that cup of coffee. Oh, cheers everyone. Cheers. Delicious. We're cooking chips, so I'm going to get the larger of the two saucepans, whack it on the Trangia, just like that, and we're going to get some oil nice and hot. And use a fair amount of oil because we want to kind of medium fry these chippies. They need to be relatively well submerged. Got some lovely uniform chips there. Oh, sizzles. Lovely. Our chippies are looking beautifully golden fried. And very carefully remove the saucepan with our really excellent handle and transfer these fabulous looking golden chips into our plate. God, they look really good. I've actually got a little bit of tissue paper here, which I can just douse the oil a little bit. Save too much cholesterol, he says. Cooking steak and chips, my goodness me. Flip these little handles out, which accommodate the frying pan. Lovely designed bit of kit, works so well. Transfer a tiny little bit of oil into our frying pan for steak sizzling, very nice too. And get it on the flame. Check out these chippies. Look at those. Oh, perfect. Oh my goodness. They are just like the chips your mum used to make after school with beans. Oh, lush. One of my favourite seasonings. It's really simple, but it works amazingly well as a massive upgrade. Onion salt. Season your meat with onion salt, ladies and gentlemen. It is worth its weight in gold. Get that on there. We'll add a bit more to the other side once we get cooking. Get our pan back on the heat. And then whack our lovely ribeye steak straight in there. Ready for the sizzle? Oh yeah! It smells amazing already. Love steak. If you have your steak done over medium rare, that look should tell you everything. Don't do it. It's taken every ounce of willpower for me not to just completely devour all of those delicious chips. They are so good. Soft and fluffy on the inside, crunchy on the outside. Bit like armadillos. It's a well seared piece of meat. Don't want to cook it too much because we still want it pink in the middle. Get on that plate right there, my friend. Pop that in there. Right then, eggs. Oh yeah! Now finally, my friends, just some pan-fried asparagus in butter. Here we go. Oh, we're on the home stretch now. There we go. Goodness me, they smell good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are there. Steak, eggs, camp-fried chips, and butter pan-fried asparagus. And that looked wonderful. Get that money shot. Oh yeah. Well, it's the moment I've been waiting for. I gotta get some of this meal in me ASAP. Nice chunk of steak. Get some chippies on top. Dip it in the egg. Whoa. Cheers, everybody. Mmm. Oh my goodness. That's a cracking bit of meat. I always go for ribeye when I'm choosing steaks because I like that marbling of that fat running all the way through it. Gives it tremendous flavour. And those chips have come out perfect. Oh, that is some righteous food, everybody. I'll tell you what, we don't smash it out of the park every time regarding cooking on Camp Cookout Adventures. Most times, yeah, but this one in particular, oh my goodness. Beautifully rare steak. Super tender. Seasoned really well with that onion salt. Seriously, take my recommendation. Get yourself some onion salt. Whack it on your meat. And never look back. Oh, ladies and gents, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that. That went down so good. I've been saving myself all day for a good meal, and that was it. It's totally worth it. There's just something about camping out in the middle of nowhere, in lovely, beautiful silence at one with nature and making banging dishes and dinners. It's just the best. I love it. And I hope you guys do too. It's nice to have you joining along with me, and I appreciate you guys viewing it. We've got a little bit of dishes to do here. So I'm going to light the Trangia one last time. Heat up a little bit of water. Wipe off all these dishes. Maybe have another cup of coffee. I reckon that'll do it. We don't need much, just a little bit. And then I think we'll process up some firewood and get a nice little campfire going right here. Keep us company in the evening. It'll be very nice. You guys ready for the money shot? Oh, it didn't work. Drat. Try again. Okay. Go easy, Captain Cool. Look at what you're doing, for goodness sake. Okay, look at all these dishes. Oh, for goodness sake. This is not the glamorous part of the show, but it must be done. I've got this tissue paper that we used for mopping off our residue oil from our chips. Oh God, they were such good chips. I wish you could have tasted them chips. I reckon we might find a use for that a little bit later. There you go. I'll rinse that out. Give it a chuck. Whoa, there we go. Dish is done for one night. Lovely. So I have acquired from the local trees within about 15 feet of where I am right now a load of bone dry wood, which is perfect because it's just what we need for our camp out. So all I'm going to do is break it up into pieces about this size, make a nice little stockpile over here, and we're going to build a fire up out of the small tiny little twigs. First get that burning, and then we can add the slightly larger stuff to it, and we'll have a lush little campfire going. I love a campfire, and there's not very many opportunities that you can have one. I'm going to get a bunch of these super dry sticks that I broke up, and I'm going to put them down here as a base. That tissue paper which soaked up all of our chip oil, and whack that in the middle there. And then in a moment I've got a load of these tiny super dry branches with mini little fir cones in them. And little pine cones are excellent because they're so sap dense. They are excellent natural fire starters. So we're going to put all of this to the test. I wonder if that oil soaked tissue will take a spark and light. Let's have a go. No, I need something else. And luckily for me, I have just the thing. So like I said earlier, I'm on my very last one from a friend of mine called Tim, and has an Instagram page called Cornwall EDC, which is Everyday Carry. So by all means check him out if you're into all of these everyday carry gadgets. He's got quite the multi-tool collection. And this is that cotton wool pad which he's soaked in beeswax. It's actually from a Yankee candle, I believe, because it smells fantastic. So we're going to pop that right in the middle, fluff it up just a little bit. That is just a cotton wool pad soaked in beeswax. Fluffed it up in the middle, and we're going to try and fling a spark right in the middle. There we are. There we go. Right then, let's get some of this fluffy stuff on top and see if we can get a lovely little campfire going. I don't see why not, do you? Yeah. Ever since watching Howl's Moving Castle, I always think of campfires as Calcifer, the fire demon. I don't know why. It's one of those things, isn't it? There you are. It certainly works well. Cotton wool pad, a little bit of beeswax, soak it in there. It's one of those things, when you have a candle and it runs out and you've got a little bit left in your pot, save it instead of chucking it out. Because how much does a pack of cotton pads cost? £1 for like a pack of 50 to 100? Don't pay loads of money for firelighters when you could easily make your own. That works an absolute treat. It's super small. You can pack a load of those in a little fire tin with your ferro rod, bring it along to a camp and fire it up, and boom, you've got your lovely, toasty, very warm, very nice campfire. Now we've got our company for the evening. It's just going to be a matter of keeping him well fed, and we're going to hang out with some coffee, and I might put a bit of a podcast on in a little bit. But there we have it, ladies and gents. A super simple campfire for pennies. Lovely. The fire is burnt out. It's been wonderful company. It's very, very late. The time that I got myself into this hammock. Right, what do you reckon? Can we Indiana Jones this thing over that branch just in the right place? Yes. Oh, lovely. Got bugs on me hat. Well everyone, I'm very fat and very full of that beautiful meal we had this evening. The campfire has gone out. I got big bags underneath my eyes, almost as big as this hammock. So it's time for me to zip up my cocoon and get some shut-eye. Just listen. So peaceful. What a beautiful night. I'll catch you guys in the morning. Good night.
Good morning. We were doing so well. We just had a shower pass over. So, what time is it? 10 to 6. Oh, I could have done with another hour. But I think it's going to be a good idea to pack this thing up. I don't want another shower coming over and getting all my gear absolutely soaking. So, Mother Nature's given us an alarm clock. And we got to act upon it. So come on. Let's get this thing all packed up. Oh. So nice. Oh yeah, that is a bit of a grey looking sky. Go on then, let's get to it. Oh. Compared to my last hammock camp out, I was way warmer this time, and I think that was mostly thanks to this brilliant snug pack jungle blanket. It's so thin, but it's so warm. Absolutely lush. I think that's going to be the way forward for future campouts. Snug pack blanket and a sleeping bag. And you get yourself a nice comfy cushy night. I hate this part of the camp out. Crushing everything down so that it fits in its tiny bag, especially first thing in the morning, all bleary eyed. There we go. Hang you up there. Our hammock stayed strong for the night. Really good. So time to undo the thing. Hold on to that. Pull. And away we go. Got our hammock, sleeping bag, a snug pack blanket. And that's it. That did the whole night. Magic.
Well, ladies and gents, we've done our housework. Our campsite is looking lovely and clean once again. I'm delighted with that slate I found. There's no damage on the ground underneath where I had my little campfire. And this place is looking wonderful. What a spectacular spot this was. It was so nice to spend the night underneath these lovely trees, looking up. Had birds there in the morning singing their morning song. And it's just a great way to spend the night and immerse yourself in nature. So it's time to leave our lovely little camp. I think I'll be coming back to this spot again at some point. It was particularly awesome. Right, we gotta climb our way out of here and get back to see the kids and the missus. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in to Camp Cookout Adventures. I really hope that you enjoyed the episode. And I certainly hope to see you again really soon for the next adventure. The way that you could do that and help me out massively is by clicking subscribe on the channel. That way you're not going to miss any future adventures and you can come and hang out with us again. Cheers for tuning in everyone. See you again.